are for another car chat. Welcome to the Busy Vegan Mom, where I share my knowledge, my experience, my information on plant-based weight loss, veganism for children, and healing with plants. Thank you for being here. If you have not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. That way we can help get the power of plants out to a wider range of people. So thank you so much for being here with me. So today we're going to talk about eight things that I have done through my experience, what I've learned, what I've researched, what's worked for me to help or what tweaks I've made in my special weight loss regimen or process, and what I've done that has helped me, eight little things that I've done, like I said, 8 little tweaks that I have made into what I was doing, say, when I first came in. Like when I first came in doing this, okay, regular starch solution, okay, low fat, half a plate of veggies, half a plate of carbs, right? Or starches, whatever you want to call it. So that's, and take the oil out. That was it, right? But over time, I've learned there's different things that I can do to help assist and kickstart weight loss goals. All right. Okay. So number one is not blending my calories and also not drinking, making health drinks that have a lot of extra calories in it. So I was doing this for a while. Many of you know I did, like, I'll give up coffee from time to time. I gave up coffee for several months, for a while. And what did I do? I replaced it with a really healthy, yummy cacao protein powder. I added all these different beautiful things to it. It was so good. But I would find myself drinking this so many times a day. It was controlling me. I would go home just to make one. As soon as I got home, I had to make one. It was like an obsession. And that's aside from the fact. But the point is that I was loading it down with, although they might have been healthy sweeteners are a stimulating food. So the more we put something sweet in our body, the more we are going to want it. And so that was my case with this. And so I've got, these added, even though it was healthy vegan protein powder, adding that in, causing me to want to drink it more and then even eat more afterwards. So tip number 1, don't blend your calories. So no smoothies and no crazy drinks. It doesn't mean not ever. It just means while the goal is weight loss. And that has helped tremendously. So number 1, no blended calories. Okay, so number 2 would be cutting back on snacking. Okay, and so this is not meant to be restrictive. This is not meant to say, you can't eat this, you can't eat that. Let me tell you, I'm sharing my experience and how it worked for me. So the only way that I was able to truly cut back on snacking was through doing a potato reset. This is what helped me, because it was like you just eat 3 meals full of starch, full of non-starchy veggies, and there's no like eating fruit in between. It's one of the stricter ones. And so that's what I did. And like that cut out my snacking altogether. And I know that helps me big time with my weight loss goals. Now, if you're truly hungry, absolutely eat your apple, eat your banana, eat some veggies, like whatever. But for me, what was happening is instead of filling up wholly and completely in my meal, I would just rely on, I know I've got apples and bananas to hold me over. And then I'm like, all I'm doing is eating apples and bananas all day. And when I'm not even hungry, I'm doing it because I want to, or because it's there, or because I'm bored, or some sort of restlessness in me saying, you need this apple, you need this apple. And so, yeah. And so that is what I came to the realization when I didn't learn about how to really not snack or have the discipline to not snack until doing my potato reset. If you want to do a potato reset, or if you want to know what that is, I will link a video above explaining it and sharing my experience with it. Number 3, eat more potatoes. The potato is the most satisfying food on the planet scientifically, and it's also only 400 calories per pound. So it's non-starchy veggies at 100 calories per pound, fruit at 300 calories per pound, and then you've got your potatoes, your starches. What's going to keep you full? I think rice and corn and starchy squash is right up there in that same class. But your potato is the most satisfying. You can stay nice and full. So eating more potatoes. So maybe you have a meal where you're making like a whole food plant-based casserole, and maybe it's oil-free and all this great stuff. That's awesome. Still helpful for weight loss. But if the goal is to kickstart and lose, fat loss, weight release, if you're looking to achieve that goal, then eat more potatoes. So instead of maybe having, like your a tofu wrap or whatever. I'm thinking of example. Wraps are a dry starch, so it's going to be way more calories per pound. Tofu does have higher fat content in it. Let your satiating part of the plate be a potato. So the more potato meals you eat, the less weight you will lose, because there's only 400 calories. It's only 400 calories per pound in a potato, and a potato is the most satisfying food on earth, scientifically proven. Therefore, weight loss. More full, more satisfied. Number 4 is eat less dry starches. What are dry starches? Dry starches are the foods that have had the water removed, meaning your bagels, chips, breads, your cereals, stuff like that. All of those good. Maybe oil-free, maybe fat-free. Well, it's never completely fat-free because there's always trace amounts of fats found in the food, according to Dr. John McDougall. But when it comes to weight loss, your dry starches are allowed on the McDougall program and in the Starch Solution. But if the goal is maximum weight loss and you're looking to shed those extra stubborn pounds, then I would suggest not eating the starches that have had the water removed. So like your dry toast, even when you make your oat cookies, they are weight loss ingredients, but they are prolonging, not making you gain weight, not saying any of that, but it's prolonging the desired results you may be wanting to achieve. Why? Because the water's been removed from the starch. A dry starch is less filling, less satiating. I go back to the comment about the bag of chips, or like a whole bunch of, chips are the great example. Or like I think about a time that I had bagels. They were so good. Somebody had gifted me a whole bunch of vegan bagels, and I have to say vegan, right? Because it's like, oh, they're vegan, I can eat it. And I just had this big old box of them, and it was like crack. I just kept eating them. And I'd want another, and I'd want another, and I'd want another, and I finally had to get them out of the house. I sent them to the babysitters with Berkeley, because dry starches in me kick off a big time craving. And I'm sure that's like that for most people. That doesn't make me unique. I just know my body. Some people can, I don't know. I just know I start eating a dry starch, I want another one. And so sticking to the wet starches, because they are more satisfying, because they are more filling. The water has not been removed. That is what I choose to do today, to put in my body for my goals. So eat less dry starches. Number 5, eating less added salt or sodium, less added sweeteners. I kind of touched on that earlier, but I'm bringing it back up because I want to just drive home the point that salt and sugar are stimulating foods. And what I mean by stimulating foods is sort of like that chip example I give. Once you put them in your body, it's like setting off a craving, making you want more. So when you have all that sodium, have you ever noticed you eat something that's kind of a little more on the saltier side, or even just has a little salt, it makes you want a little more, something sugary. Why did I eat all that cake? I wasn't even hungry. Why did I keep eating it? Salt and sugar are stimulating foods. This doesn't mean take them out of your diet completely. Not at all what I'm saying. But having less of them. I invite you to see what your experience is like once you have less of those, and see how the cravings work out. What we put in our body is what we crave. Number 6, chew slowly. There was something put out there at one point that I used to read. They talked about chewing your food at least 42 times before swallowing, or was it 32? 32 times. 32 times was supposed to be like the magical number, the magical recipe for digestion. And so years ago I had read something about, and as a matter of fact, I think it was called How Not to Diet, which that is a book that's written by one of the plant-based doctors today, but I don't know, this was like a decade ago, so I don't know if it's the same one. All that aside, it basically put emphasis on chewing slowly and also on taking smaller bites. I will shove a huge bite in my mouth. Therefore, yeah, sure, I could still chew it, 32 times, but because I took such a big bite, it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters a little bit that I'm chewing it, for longer amounts or longer chews, but I may as well double that because I have double the food in my mouth. So I've learned that if I take smaller bites, apply that, or they say chew your food up to the consistency of applesauce. Why? Because for one, you're helping to digest your food better. You're helping. There's also things out there suggesting that it helps you absorb your nutrients better. But mainly, it's sending your signals to your body. It's letting you know when you're actually full. You think about if you just scarf something down. For me, I'm like, I just ate so much food. Why am I still hungry? Why could I eat more? Well, because my body doesn't know I'm full. I ate that so fast. My body doesn't know I'm full. So if you take your time, and it takes a while, if you're going to actually eat slow, you're like, I'm like, damn, I've been here all day eating this food. It takes what it takes, right? It takes what it takes. We're not meant to scarf down our food. We're meant to just chew it slowly, and experience the flavors, and let what was I trying to say there? Let digestion occur as it's supposed to. It begins in the mouth. Mixing with the saliva and the chewing up of the food. Food was meant to be chewed. And so, yeah. Number 7 would be drink more water. Most of the time when we think that we are hungry, we're actually thirsty. And if you get to a point where you're actually thirsty, it means you're already dehydrated. So this is my philosophy. The bigger the jug, the more you'll drink. People are like, yeah, I don't drink near enough water. I have a little, I keep a couple water bottles. Not enough. Big jug. I keep a big gallon jug or a 3-liter jug, and that way it's like that's telling me, Rachel, you have a while to go. You need to drink more. Versus if I had something really little, I'll just shoot through that, run out of it, and then that's it. So we need. Every body type is different, of course. There's no one size fits all. I know it's good to drink at least 2 liters of water a day. So starting there, and see if what you're noticing within yourself is really a hunger fullness cue or a dehydration cue. And finally, number 8, the very last point that I want to make that has been helpful to me in regards to kicking my weight loss goals into high gear is eat and load up on double the amount of non-starchy veggies, more than you think you would eat. It may sound like a ridiculous amount. Have a lot of extra prepared. Fill up on those. So even just if half your plate's full of veggies, no, think more than that. Make more veggies to where if you're still hungry after eating your starch, after eating your veggies, you go straight towards the more non-starchies instead of being more inclined to, because normally you'll have, in my case, I'll have extra potatoes made, right? So I'll just start diving into potatoes. Well, if the non-starchy veggies are 100 calories per pound, you can literally eat them and just not gain anything. As it's a lot to eat pounds of vegetables. So if you just eat more of those, then you're staying in that calorie deficit. So my thing before is I would just keep eating more starch. And instead what you do is make more non-starchy veggies, then that way you've already got them ready. So just prep a whole bunch, a crazy amount, where you're like, gosh, this is a lot, this could feed my whole family type thing. Make extra, and then if you don't eat them and end up being more hungry, you can just have them for your next meal or the next day or whatever, because you'll have them prepped in advance. So thank you guys so much for listening to all my different points on 8 different tips on how to kickstart your weight loss goals. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are finding your own things that work for you, and I hope something I shared with you today could be useful. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my plant-based inspiration. Make sure you hit like if you made it all the way through, and I'll see you guys on the next video.